Hey guys, it's Crossroads here. Today I want to talk about my second largest holding, which is SoFi. I was wrong on SoFi. Now, not on the overall thesis, not on the overall company, but a very specific product that I thought wouldn't really make much of a difference and see many inroads at all. And I think today pretty much proved that I was just completely wrong on that. Let's take a look at this. So, what is a product? It is, of course, their international remittance product that allows you to send just from your SoFi app itself directly to a wallet in Mexico. Only right now, through a partnership with Lightspark. They're in 64-ish countries. So, I expect this product for SoFi will be moving up relatively quick. So, when they launched this, my take was, hey, there's a lot of remittance stuff out there. There really is. I mean, you look at and you just Google remittances, and you're going to see probably 20 companies that you've heard of before, and maybe another 20, 30, 40 that you haven't. And you can send even with banks do remittance services as well. So lots of options out there. And when there is a lot of options, that commoditizes the space. That means that the actual take rate tends to fall as well. Thankfully, there is technology out there, stable coins specifically, or crypto in the case of SoFi, that help lower the rate as far as margins, the take rate itself, or the amount that you actually pay. And so your take can actually be higher despite the overall price being lower. Now, my thought was when SoFi announced this product that they're probably either going to price it too high because, I mean, you're trying to convert from United States dollar to Bitcoin back to whatever currency. And there's a cost to actually be able to execute transactions like that on the Bitcoin rails. I was thinking, okay, they're going to price it too high. It won't gain really any traction at all, except for those that are just like, hey, convenience. It's already right here. I'll do it. They'll, of course, get some of that. Well, obviously, that's not the case. My other thought was maybe they'll price it kind of midpoint, maybe not like too high, but they're just not going to gain a lot of transaction volume there at all. Anyway, we saw this demo today. Data-driven investing actually tagged it out, and I saw it on his site. And about like the 7th or 8th minute, Lightspark is doing a demo, and they show off the SoFi product. And so if you look here in this fictional example, they're sending $100 from the United States to someone in Mexico for helping friends and family. And so the exchange rate they put right there. They say, okay, there's a network fee applied of 30 cents, processing fee of 50 cents. And so this is 80 cents as far as a fee. Now, this is actually extraordinary. I said that there's a lot of services out there. It's commoditized. SoFi had said, and I didn't believe them, frankly. I was wrong here again, that this was going to be the cheapest option out there. Or something to that effect, that would usually be the cheapest option out there that they're pricing it according to this. This blows Wise out of the water. It blows Rio out of the water. It blows Remitly and PayPal Zoom also out of the water in terms of pricing. Nobody prices it that low, except there's a problem. You can see right here, exchange rate, $1 US to 20 Mexican pesos. Well, the current rate is 1840. Now, it was 1858 at some point earlier in the month. If we look at over the last year, there were points where it was at $20. So either we're looking at a very dated example that showed when it was at an even 20, or more likely than not, just a hypothetical fake example that really had nothing to do with the actual exchange rate. So what does that mean? Well, the nice thing is, if that's all we had, we'd say, can't conclude anything yet. There are services like PayPal Zoom, by the way, which charge no fees. And then they do tell you that they do this, but they say, hey, there's a spread between the actual exchange rate and what we're giving you. That's our cut. So I was like, okay, well, maybe SoFi, that's what they're doing, just in reverse. They're paying people if it was $20. No, that's not their strategy at all, of course. And we see actually this screenshot. You can see where it was originally on Reddit. It's not mine. Somebody actually using this. This was sent on likely on October 17th. Maybe there was a dateline thing that happened there, but doesn't really matter so much there. But it was this weekend. Processing fee. So this $220 that they were sending. Processing fee was $1.10. So yeah, that's a little bit higher than the example that we saw from the previous screenshot, but that's still really low. And we'll take a look at that in a moment. And then you can see the exchange rate, which if you look over the weekend, it's 1845 1840. I don't know if 1837. I didn't see a point where it was actually down that low. So SoFi is getting a tiny, tiny cut, just a fraction of a percent, honestly, on the exchange rate, it looks like. But really, their fee is transparent. And this is ridiculously low. So let's take this example and just see real quick. We're going to look at a Remitly and also Wise. By the way, I'm not using PayPal Zoom because they'll give you a one-time introductory rate, which is ridiculous. And you'll do that once. And after that, it usually is slightly more than Zoom. It could change, or not Zoom, than Wise. But yeah, regardless, let's take a look here. So we're on Wise, and we're going to send $220. And we're not going to want to send it into euros. So MXN, I believe, Mexican peso. And then you can see here that they give you the breakdown, 3,998. And we'll compare that here. Well, it doesn't actually show the amount, but the actual amount in the exchange rate is actually relatively near. But the fees, $2.62 versus $1.10. Even if they're getting, and they are getting a little bit of a spread, Wise's product is almost twice as expensive. So maybe it's just Wise, maybe it's something with Mexico. Let's take a look at Remitly, right? So again, we're going to do $220 from the United States. We're going to go ahead and send it to Mexico. And oh, wait, this looks incredible. Problem is, even with Remitly, if you actually get in, if you log in, if this isn't your first time using it, you're not going to receive that rate. It is more expensive. PayPal Zoom is more expensive. I could not find one, and I used some of these comparison tools as well, that was even close to as cheap as what SoFi is getting. So what does this mean? Beyond Roy was wrong yet again. First, that SoFi could stand to gain significant traction from this. People like saving money. Famously in the past, doing so across border was incredibly expensive, slow, and tedious. And we're on the other side of that now, where it starts to get cheaper, faster. And this, again, is instant settlement. So once people realize like SoFi is meaningfully cheaper, there will be some that join the SoFi platform merely for this product. They say, this is great. Let me open a SoFi bank account, which again, flywheel effect helps boost the business as well. So I think they're going to get a number of people that are not on the platform right now on there. It also makes the platform even more incredible. It's kind of like, I know this isn't the biggest feature for most people, but SoFi gives you free checks. That's nice. Usually I have to pay for those. So anytime I need checks, and I don't use many of them in a year, but if I need a new book, I just put it right in there. They send me one. I don't think I even pay shipping, if I recall correctly. So nice service. That was meaningful for me, and it could be one of those deciders if some other bank tries to lure me that direction. Likewise, this product right here may be one of those things that makes the platform even more attractive for somebody that's already on it. But yeah, I think that they could actually grow a fairly significant volume from this as they build it out. It has to be more than just Mexico. Now, beyond that, are they making money on this? And the answer is probably not. This is probably their loss leader. They may not even be a loss leader, but something like the Costco hot dog combo meal, famously. So really with SoFi, what they're doing is having to convert from USD to Bitcoin, and then from Bitcoin back to that currency. There's a small charge each and every time. And then they also have a partner in Lightspark. And so Lightspark has to get their cut somehow. And so with already the cheapest rate that's out there, even if it's efficient somehow, and I don't fully understand this on Lightspark, why it's so cheap, but regardless, that's an attractive product, but you're probably not making any money on that. And so your goal with this then is, again, to make a stickier platform, and also as a bit of an attractant into that flywheel for somebody that uses this type of service all the time. But anyway, that's my takeaway from this. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, how they market it as well. SoFi does quite a bit of marketing, so we might start seeing that show up once they launch a broader suite here. And if we see that the customer acquisition, that new people onboarding onto the platform actually spikes up, we know exactly what's going on there beyond all the stuff that's already working. So very bullish SoFi. It will be exciting to see what they post as far as earnings here not too long from now. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Till next time, happy investing.